Hey everyone, we have reading tip number 4 this week. Look for parts that you know. In the email that I sent, there are ways that you can use this strategy. Now, it is probably a little more helpful with the more and more phonics skills that your student is learning, because then it's easier to look for different parts. But you still can use this in kindergarten with looking for different word families. So I'm going to give you an example of each way that I showed in the reading tip. So for, let's say, a kindergartner or even first grader, if we have the word ham, okay, they come to the word ham and they're not sure, but they notice the word family am. So they see am. So you can underline it. Now, if you're using the underline way, then you definitely don't want to use, obviously, a book that you shouldn't be writing in, but you could write it on a whiteboard or you could write it on a piece of paper. And so you just underline the word family or the part that they know, and or you think they should know too. If you're kind of coaching your child through this, then you could say, okay, what is am? And they would say, oh, okay, that's a word family we've learned, so am. Then they can put it together, am, ham. Another way that was in the reading tip is to cover up parts of the word. So you may cover up this or have your child cover up the H and say, okay, what is am? Am. And then you can uncover this to say am. A third way that I put in the reading tip is to use index cards. So like I just take one index card and I cut it in half. So I have two parts here. And so this just helps frame the word part that your child should know. So you could do something like this and say, okay, what does am say? Am. Then you can uncover it, am. So it just kind of helps single out a word part in the word. Now let's say your child comes to this word. Okay, now there's two different parts that they could see. And so if you write it down like this, then, okay, here's a blend, CL. Okay, what's CL say? Coal. And then I would underline the next part twice just to show that there's another part. So I have coal, am, clam. And this brings in the other strategy that we sent over the last couple weeks of stretching and blending. And so coal, am, clam. If you wanted to use your hand, then you could cover up whichever part. You could cover up part of it. Oh, I know that's am. Okay, this part is coal. So coal, am, clam. Or if you wanted to use the index cards, okay, then you could just frame CL, AM, and then blend it together. Now, sometimes you're going to come across a harder word or longer word. And to me, that's really when this strategy comes through. So, for example, okay, so really long word. But the nice thing is with this strategy is you're looking for parts that you know. So if I write it out like this, then I'm going to underline. So I would say, do you see a word in here that you know? And we're looking to see, hopefully, that they recognize that IN is in. Okay, perfect. All right, what's another part? Well, they might say, oh, I see a blend. That's PL. So I'm going to underline that twice. Then they might know this part right here. Okay, but then we might just need to start stretching. Okay, this is in what COM, so income, pull. Oh, I see a silent E at the end. The silent E is going to make the vowel say its name. So we have income, pull, eat, incomplete. So I know that one's like super tricky because it's really long, but that's a good example of chunking the word, finding parts that you know. You could also have just like a compound word. So for example, like the word backpack. Okay. They may pick out, oh, I know CK is K. Okay, so I have that twice. Or they might be able to, we could go, okay, well, what is BACK? Back. And then what's this part? Pack. Backpack. And then you put it together. And then, of course, you could use the index cards too. Okay, this is back. Okay, or if you're just working on CK, you can use those as well. So those are different ways that you can use for looking for parts that you know. So I hope that gives you a little bit more of an idea of how you can help your child. Please let us know too if you have any questions whatsoever. Happy reading!